Hello and welcome to All the Way Down, a YouTube channel all about the Scottish rock band Biffy Clyro.
All the way down, all the way down.
For this video I'm going to start to look at the band's history and relationship with the Reading and Leeds Festival, one of the biggest festivals in the UK. We're going to be starting off with the first appearance in 2000 right up to 2007. Obviously there'll be more videos later on, but this is the first part of a few. Enjoy! Biffy are a great example of a band starting at the bottom and working their way up the festival ladder to eventually headlining. The Reading and Leeds Festival is one of the biggest in the UK, and Biffy have not been a stranger to it in recent years, from opening smaller stages at the start of the century to closing the main stage. In this video, I take a deep dive into the history of the band's relationship with the Reading and Leeds Festival. It was a year before the release of their debut album when Biffy first played at the festival. By this point the band had only released one single and one EP the year before via a college record label. Simon said, "It felt like we'd joined the big people's league. It was back when we would drive ourselves to shows through the night, get some sleep, wake up and play. We were opening the second stage. I think we were on just before breakfast." The poster states they played the evening session stage, along with headliners Mercury Rev and 100 Reasons, a band I'd later see at a Manchester gig, where Biffy supported them. I haven't found any footage of this set anywhere online, and judging from Simon's comments, it's likely not many people were there to see them. I did find a set list however, but it's incomplete. Like I said before, they'd only released a few songs, and Black and Sky was still yet to come. Judging from what they were playing around this time, I'm going to go ahead and guess that this is the rest of the set list. A year later, with the debut album released and main stage bands such as Foo Fighters, The Prodigy and Guns N' Roses headlining, Biffy played the Carling stage at the festival. It's great to see bands they shared a stage with that year. It's a real snapshot of the underground rock that was really breaking out around this time. Bands like Hell is for Heroes and Jet Plane Landing. Simon says, "As outsiders, we felt like we were infiltrating something. Rock at the turn of the millennium was big and bombastic. We were trying to be a little more sophisticated. It felt like we were there to be part of our own network. It was probably the best 2 or 3 hours of a festival I've ever experienced." So with Black and Sky out in the world and a bit more time for the band to play the songs, Biffy had a solid set of material to play at festivals now. Another set list I found online is again incomplete, so let's just guess the rest. This strikes me as a vital time for the band. They found the contemporaries and were starting to build confidence in their live sound. It was a year later, however, that they would take a bigger step up the festival ladder. Biffy Clyro's main stage set at the Reading Festival in 2003 was one of the first live recordings I found on YouTube in the early days. What's strange about looking back at this year is the band's absence from a lot of the posters. In researching this, I found an interview with Ben, who explained that the Welsh band Lost Prophets had pulled out and were replaced, seemingly by 2 bands, the All American Rejects and Biffy Clyro. Simon says, "We were not ready for main stage. We were just 3 guys getting out of a van and making a racket. I still refused to talk to the crowd. We played with our backs to them. We might not have been ready, but it was a challenge that gave us some real fortitude. We learned how to grow into it." Looking back at the original poster with the Lost Prophets feature, there's no sign of Biffy on the entire festival lineup. I found this a little bit confusing, as I'd assumed the festival would replace the Lost Prophets with a band already booked to play but on a smaller stage. Can you imagine the phone call Biffy got prior to this festival, asking them if they were available to play on the main stage? This wouldn't be the last main stage replacement set though, we'll come to that later. Like I said before, there's a small snippet of this set on YouTube, which only features 2 songs, Eradicate the Doubt and 57, but after a lot of trawling online, I've managed to find the rest. Looking back at this, it's clear that it's a bit of a step too far for the band at this point. The stage seems to swallow them up, but this experience would have really given the band a big boost. I'm so glad they took the opportunity. Si is on top form here as well. I loved his stage presence around this time. He played like it was the band against the world. Ben had a tough time during this set, however, telling NME that he decided to use in-ear monitors with cheap batteries, so the sound kept cutting out. I'd fully recommend having a watch of this clip online. It really shows how much noise they can make as a three-piece band, and the audience reaction was really positive. Biffy's third album, Infinityland, was released in October 2004, and they toured it pretty solidly for 2 years. In the middle of all this, the boys stepped back onto the main stage to the sound of the Glitter and Trauma intro music. For my money, the best way to kick off a Biffy set. It's a bit of a mixed up set here in 2005, with only 3 songs from Infinityland, 2 from Black and Sky, 1 from Vertigo of Bliss, and 2 new songs at the time. Semi-Mental would make its way onto the 4th album, and Asexual Meat Kitchen would later become a B-side from the Puzzle era. Simon said, "Songs like Glitter and Trauma and My Recovery Injection had hit the charts. Playing big stages had fed back into the songs. A bigger canvas pushes you to paint differently, and that shaped the record that would become Puzzle." It's still pretty early in the day here, and the new songs don't particularly connect well with the crowd. But what's striking is the reaction to some of their old songs. There's almost a sing-along in the opening verse of Just Boy, and the crowd shout along to the twangy guitar parts to the My Recovery Injection intro. There's a bit more set dressing too, with the Infinityland album cover behind them, and the figures from the album artwork at either side of the stage. This is evidence of hard work and endless touring paying off, with the deserved main stage set from a British band in a fairly American-heavy main stage bill. Watching the 2005 and 2007 sets back to back the other day, it felt like I was watching 2 completely different bands. I know there's a 2-year time difference, but watching the reaction when Biffy entered the NME stage before headliners The View in 2007, it became clear that this was the kind of stage time and tent they should have been given 2 years before. Simon says, "We were finally popular, and the tent was packed. It was a real coming-of-age moment. Everyone in that tent came to see our band and to hear the songs from Puzzle. It mattered a lot to me that the music was connecting after all we'd been through." This is their strongest Reading and Leeds set so far for the band. It feels like they're in the right venue and at the right time, and that they finally managed to harness the success of the new album alongside the cult following gained from the first 3 albums and tour cycles. A much more solid setlist this time. With Puzzle only a few weeks old at this point, you can tell they really did invest in it, with 6 songs out of the 9 taking up the setlist. It's great to see Bodies in Flight as the opener too. Thank you very, very much for watching. So that was the first part. Obviously they've played the festival quite a few times now, but I thought I'd start from the beginning. Quite interesting to look back at the performances and some of the songs they were playing then, and quite a few big progresses in the band's history. So I'm looking forward to having a look at the rest.